Some people believe if we repeat stories often enough, they become real. They make us who we are. That can be scary.
Eat it, Harold.
Do you want to see a haunted house?
Some kids went missing, so they boarded it up.
Okay, we saw it. Should we go now?
Who ordered the chicken?
What's that?
It's a book of scary stories. Tell me a story. Hey, what's going on?
Tommy's missing.
Tommy's name was in the book. There's no way it's actually connected, right? Okay, what if what happens in the book is exactly what's happened for real? Oh my god. Andy!
Stella!
Listen, you're in the next story. We're reading it right here.
It's a corpse looking for her missing toe.
I'm afraid that we woke something up.
You shouldn't have taken the book.
We've got to stop it.
Sarah Bellows' book, where the stories write themselves and it all comes alive.
The jangling man is coming.
Based on the iconic book series. This was a smart, spooky, and satisfying adaptation. Right off the bat, I have to mention that I'm a huge fan of the original books. I was probably a bit too young to be reading them at the time, but that just added to the fun of it all. Some of my fondest memories were sitting down somewhere and reading those stories over and over again. I'm also a fan of Andre Overdahl as a director. I really love The Autopsy of Jane Doe, and I'm still planning on seeing Trollhunter at some point. So, with those aspects all working in its favor, how did this film turn out? I greatly enjoyed this film, surprisingly so, to be honest. I didn't have the highest expectations going in, but I left feeling much more impressed than I originally thought I'd be. Make no mistake, this movie lives up to its title. It is scary. The characters had just enough development to be relatable and interesting. The scares are genuinely terrifying and each have their own creativity when it comes to building tension. The cinematography is also excellent and the musical score was haunting in all of the right ways. The visuals alone are a big reason to see this film. So enough prerequisites, let's talk about it further in depth. First up is the performances. As I already stated earlier, everyone is very good here. Zoe Colletti brings a vulnerability and innocence to our lead, Stella. Michael Garza's drifter, Ramon, is both sympathetic and grounded with a culturally relevant background to boot. Austin Zazer's Chuck started off as the annoying prankster of the group in the beginning, but he really grew on me as the film progressed. Despite not having much screen time, Gabriel Rush does a great job of leaving a good impression as sarcastic but supportive friend Augie. The same can be said for Austin Abrams' lead bully, Tommy, who finds every opportunity to be as repulsive as he possibly can before he ultimately bows out of the movie. Another small but strong performance came from Natalie Ganshorn's Ruth, Chuck's drama queen sister. The scares and effects. I was very happy to discover that this film relied much more on practical effects than CGI. Sometimes that can make a big difference, and here it absolutely does. The film's monsters range from creepy to downright nightmarish, and they always pose a real threat and danger to the main characters. They also came in many forms. A sentient scarecrow in a cornfield named Harold, a walking corpse looking for her big toe, a spider's nest hatching inside a girl's cheek, a horrifying figure known only as the Pale Lady in an insane asylum, and a contorting creature made up of severed body parts known only as the Jangly Man. You name it, this movie probably has it. The cinematography looks really good. Mill Valley looks like a real town set in the late 60s, as it should. It's very convincing in its depiction and tone. The fact that most of the film takes place on and around Halloween is just the cherry on top. Having previously worked with Overdahl on The Autopsy of Jane Doe, it's clear that Roman Osen knows how to shoot a very sleek-looking movie. Props to you, sir. The musical score. One word. Chilling. I love the music in this film. It was a key component to building up the tension until the viewer couldn't take any more. It was just as important as the visual and scare as it was often accompanying. I liked the inclusion of 2 Season of the Witch renditions, one at the beginning and one by Lana Del Rey during the end credits, and composers Marco Beltrami and Anna Drubik have created a seriously unsettling and anxiety-inducing score that stays with you even after the film has long concluded. In conclusion, this film surprised me in the best way possible. It honors its source material while still introducing new elements as well. Seeing some of my favorite stories and monsters represented on the big screen was honestly a sight to behold. At almost 2 hours, the film never drags, and it maintains an eerie atmosphere throughout. The best way I can describe this movie is a darker, more disturbing adult version of Goosebumps with far less humor and real consequences. There's also more emotional heft and dark subject material that you wouldn't see in a Goosebumps movie. Normally I hate when films try to set up a sequel at the end, but this is a rare exception. Deciding to leave the film on a pretty intriguing and open-ended cliffhanger with multiple questions unanswered was a ballsy move, and one that I think will pay off eventually. There's so much more rich source material for the next films to explore, and I couldn't be more excited to see what that looks like. I give Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you so much for listening.